sharing my screen now. Let me know if you can see. Okay, so basically what we will be talking about today is basic definition of product design, UI design, UX design, and UI UX in general, because there's no point. You need to understand whatever thing you want to learn, like the foundation part, before we move on to the practical aspect. So I'll do a simple introduction of myself. My name is Abdul-Salam Fatai. I'm a final year student of mathematics education, University of Lagos, and I'm a brand designer and also a UI UX designer. So I basically work as a freelancer. So today we'll be looking at definition of some terminologies like product design, UI design, and UX design also, because a lot of people get confused when it comes to this particular aspect, because some people will call themselves a product designer, while some people will say I'm a UI designer, and some people will say I'm a UX designer. So I need to give you a detailed definition of what all this mean basically. So we'll be looking at some UI UX tools that we're going to be using in the course of this training. Then I would also show you guys what you can design when it comes to UI UX. Then I would also show you the stages we have when it comes to UI UX. Well, if you want to embark on any project, there are some stages your project needs to pass through before you can arrive at the final product. And I'll be walking you guys through on portfolio sites where you can get inspirations from, and I will be showing you guys the Figma interface. We won't really do much on this. It's just to get you guys familiar with the interface we are going to be using for this training. That will be done like in depth in our subsequent class. So firstly, what I would want to define here is product design. And there's a definition I got from Google here. I'm going to read out this definition, and I'm going to also explain to you in a layman language. So basically, product design is the process designers use to blend user needs with business goals to help brands make consistently successful products. So when it comes to product design, when you can design a product from start to finish, that is, you can undo every aspect of a product. You've seen a problem and you're trying to solve it. You can undo that particular project from the problem phase to the solution phase. That is what makes product design. Then we are going to be looking at UI design. The term UI is known as user interface, basically. So user interface is a digital affair that concerns itself with the layout and appearance of digital product. Basically, whenever you launch any product, be it a mobile application or a website, what you see, like the interface of the product, is basically what is known as the UI, the user interface part of the design. Why UX is talking about a discipline that concerns itself with the overall feel a user derives from using a particular product, right? So I've been able to define these three terms, and I want to explain it in a layman language. So when I say UI design, I'm basically talking about the interface, the visual aspect of a product, what users see whenever they launch a product. What is UX? UX stands for user experience. Actually, it should be UE, because the X in this case is known as the experience, but I really don't know why they made it X, which we are going to accept it like that. And in some cases, some people will use UED, which is user experience design. So in this case, we are using UX. Whenever you see UX, you should know that it is talking about UX design. So UX is more like the research aspect of a product, because whenever I want to solve a particular problem, I'm trying to build a product. The first thing I would need to do is to make research and, ideate on how to come up with possible solutions on that particular product, right? When it comes to UX, there are a lot of fields that are in the UX part, which is known as the UX researcher, UX writer. It could be anything, like sub position under UX, which you can go into, right? So in general, it's just talking about the background research for a particular product, basically. Then when it comes to product design is when you can, do UI and you can also do UX, and you understand the business part of that particular product, because the goal of any product is for the end users, right? And at the same time, for the company to make profit. So you are basically designing for the company and for the users. Once the users are using it, the company is also was making profit. So that is what makes a product designer. That means the person understands the business aspect of the product, and the person can also participate in the UX research, and at the same time, the person can also participate in what UI. So it depends. Some people refer themselves as a UI designer, meaning they only do visuals. They have nothing to do with research. They have nothing to do with the content on the website. All they do is just get wireframe from the UX designer, and they come up with beautiful screens. When it comes to UX design, that means the person is doing the research. In some cases, the person will also participate in the visual aspect of the design. It depends. So, and if I call myself a UI UX designer, that means I can do research and at the same time, I can work on visuals. Then when I say I'm a product designer, that means, I'm doing both UI UX at the same time, and I'm also participating in the business part of the project. Yeah. Am I communicating?
Yes, you are.
All right. So let's proceed. So we need to define some terms also. There is what we call design thinking, which is a particular phase every product pass through, which is known as the process and ideology of handling a product, which is user-centric in brackets. That is, whenever I want to work on any product, this design thinking is very important. Like any product must always pass through this particular process. The first one is known as the empathize, followed by define, we have ideate, and we have prototype and test. So empathize simply means you are you are doing research, and you are trying to empathize with the users. You're trying to get what the users need, right? Basically, because you can't just wake up one day and start building product without knowing about the users you're trying to build the product for. So that is the reason why we empathize in that particular aspect. That is where we do interview, seek to understand, shadowing, non-judgmental. So basically, in this particular path, you do interview, and you do more of competitive research just to know more about the users. Then after the empathize, you have what we call the define phase. This is where you get to define the type of product you are trying to build, because after you've empathized with the users, you've gotten a report, you've gotten data. Now, in this case, you want to define what you want to build. That is where we have persona. Persona is more like a fictional design of your target users. Let's say I'm trying to build a product for users within the age of 18 to 25. So that's more like a persona. So there is an age range, 18 to 25. I'm trying to build the product for, let's say I'm trying to build an educational app. Of course, I won't target people that are in the office. So that is what comes in at the defined phase. That is where you get to, know your role objective, you make decisions, and you get to know your challenges and your pain points. Then after the define, you get to the ideate phase. So in this ideate, you've defined what you want to build. Now you want to ideate, you want to come up with possible ideas that can work out for the project. In this case, you get to do your wireframe, you get to do your sketch here. You sketch what your product will look like. In that particular time, you are trying to ideate and come up with screens that could work for the product. So after you've ideated, the next one is prototype. You try to connect the screens from one point to another. This is the screen that is leading to this, and this is leading to this. That is what comes up at the prototype phase. In that case, that is where you do your mock-up, you do your iteration, and you do your storyboard. You don't have to bother yourself if you are not familiar with most of these words. You get to know them better when we start the class properly. Then at the last phase, we have the test. So basically, after you've done the prototype, you get users to test that particular product, and you get feedback and iterate again. The reason why I said this is an iterative process and not a linear process, because whenever a process is linear, when you get to this test phase, that is just the end. The user starts using the product. But in this case, while testing, you might get some feedbacks that are negative that you would need to correct. So in that case, you might want to go back to any of these stages, to correct that particular mistake. So I have some images here that talks about UI UX, just an overview basically. So this one is talking about the human brain. It's telling us that what is inside our skull is known as the UX. That is the functionalities of our skull is known as the UX. Why the visual appearance of our skull is known as the UI. I think this is just a simple analogy, right? So this is the UX, which is talking about the interaction design, wireframe and prototype, information architect, user research scenarios. Then we have the UI, which is the main skull that people see, right? So we have the visual design, we have colors, we have graphic designs, we have layout and typography. So this one is talking about what UI designer does and what UX designer does also. So UI designer, sketch app, visuals, prototype, UX, how the users feel, sticky notes, research, and wireframing. Now, this is also another overview of what UI and UX is. This is more like a set. We have the first set, which is talking about the users, the UX, and we have another set, which is talking about the UI, right? So the UI is the user interface, which is what people see. The UX is the user experience, that is the brain boss behind the product. And at the intersection, we have end products. That is when you combine UX and UI together, you get what's end products, right? Because I said earlier that we are building the product for users. So at the intersecting points, we have the end products when you combine UI and UX together. So in general, I would say if you can handle UI and you can also handle UX, I think you are qualified to be a product designer, but not a full product designer to be specific. But you need some knowledge of business, to really be a real product designer. But you can still refer yourself as a product designer at this stage. So you have different tools when it comes to UI UX. We have Figma, we have Adobe Xd, we have Miro, we have Envision, and we have Sketch. We have other ones also, but these are the little I was able to design. So, but the most important one here is Figma, which is what we are going to be looking into. Figma, Adobe Xd is also like Figma, but not as elaborate as Figma. Figma is still the best. You can also get Adobe Xd. This is Adobe software. If you've used Adobe Illustrator, Photoshop, like you should be conversant with Adobe Xd. Is one of the product of Adobe. So you have Miro. This is used for collaboration, where you get to collaborate with your team on a particular product. So this particular Miro, the reason why I say Figma is now the best, Figma just launched another feature called FigJam. So this FigJam allows you to collaborate. It allows you to do UX. So it has basically taken the work of Miro. So with only these two, you are good. With only Figma, you can, you can just decide to ignore the rest of the software. But if you have time after you've learned Figma, you can, just pick any of them up to get the knowledge. But the most important one is Figma. So I have some definitions here about those tools. Figma, example of an online collaboration tools that designers and developers use to build digital products. I think that is explanatory enough. Can you see the word online collaboration tools? This is like a keyword. When you're trying to build a product, you're trying to design, and that software is also a collaboration software. When you run into any problem, just go to the community and get whatever thing you need there. So you don't have to go to another third-party software to get whatever thing you need to achieve your goal, basically. So that is what makes Figma the best. Figma is for collaboration and at the same time also for building products. Adobe Xd is the Adobe prototyping tool for user experience and interaction designers. Adobe Xd features are used for creating wireframes, prototype, and screen designs for digital products such as website and mobile apps. So basically, Figma can also do all this, but Adobe Xd is not for collaboration. Adobe Xd doesn't have anything like collaboration. You can't use Adobe Xd for UX because you can't really do what's it called? You can't do user flow. You get to know this better, but you can't do user flow. You can't do information. Though you can actually do it, but the process is actually longer than that of Figma. So you have Miro. Miro is an online collaborative whiteboard platform that enables distributed teams to work effectively together. So if you are to go with Adobe Xd, most likely you'll be using Miro. At the same time, if you can have these two, you are still good. But Figma alone does the work of Adobe Xd and Miro at the same time, right? We have InVision. This is a platform that allows us to deliver design mockups and prototype in an easily digestible format. I think this one is only available on Mac. So it's more like a platform that combines all these softwares together. With an InVision software, you can have your Figma inside it, you can have Miro and some other tools you might need, right? So we have Sketch. Sketch is also a software that we use for design. But like I said earlier, the most important one here is Figma. And that is what we need to put our mind into. So there are a lot of things you can do when it comes to UI UX design. Number one, you can design landing pages, you can design websites, you can design mobile applications, and you can design dashboard and social media designs. Yeah. So I will be talking about all this in details, right? So when it comes to landing page is more like a home screen whenever you launch any sites. For example, let's say I go to Geroid.ng. So after loading, the first page I'm going to see is known as the landing page, which is also known as the home page, right? So landing page is often called the home page, right? So we have websites. Website is, of course, we all know what website is. This is a website. Like all the pages in this particular Geroid.ng is known as they are what makes up a website, right? So we have a lot of pages here. We have policy, privacy policy. We have FAQ. We have terms of use. We have a lot of pages here. So all those pages combined together is what makes up a website, right? But the first page you get to is known as the landing page. We have mobile application and we have dashboard. This social media designs I put here is more like an addition. Really, Figma is not built for social media designs, but like it's not built mainly for social media design, but you can do social media designs in it. So that's the advantage of using Figma. So this is more like a dashboard. Dashboard is like a compressed website whereby you just have to manage everything on a particular page, right? If you look at this clearly, just click on any of these buttons and you'll be able to navigate across everything on the website. So that is a dashboard. Dashboard used to have something like a sidebar that contains different buttons to other pages. But in this case, it's not like you are loading to another page. You are still on the same page, just changing the content of each button, right? So this is a website. This is what the website looks like. This Geroid.ng is a website. And mobile application, we all know what mobile application is. All the applications on Apple Store, Play Store are your mobile application. So all these applications and websites, they were designed by a UI UX designer before it was being implemented with a code. So now we have what we call UI UX design stages. Now in this particular part, this is where you get to define. This is where you start building. After you've done all the you've passed through the design thinking, you've empathized, you've empathized, you've defined your problem, and at the ideation phase, this is where you get to do or see all these stages. So in that stage, you do your sketch. The first thing you do is sketch. After you've known your users and you want to start building any product, there are 5 stages that you need to go through, which is what I'm going to look into here. The first one is sketch. You can see the image that I have here. It's just basically getting a white A4 paper and a pen or a pencil, and just sketch whatever thing you want to build. It might not be that beautiful, it's just a sketch to get. So it's just a sketch, so you can just play with that. Even in some cases, your final product might be different from your sketch. The sketch is just to guide you on the contents you want to make using your on that particular screen, basically. Yeah, so after you sketch, so hey, at this sketch phase, you might be wondering, how can I just pick up an A4 paper and a pen and I start sketching? Of course, there's nothing you want to build that someone else has not done before. So just, that's where competitive research comes in. You just get 1 or 2, let's say mobile application, 1 or 2. Let's say I want to build a banking app now. I'll get to see OP, CUDA, and some other apps like that. So in that case, I'll be able to see one or 2 features that I can combine together in my own products. So that is what happens at the sketch phase. After that, you do your wireframe, which is known as the low fidelity. So wireframe is just like the digital form of a sketch, right? So wireframe is always having a one color design, but it is digital. The sketch, we did it with our hand, but in this wireframe, you have to do it on Figma. That's where you just have to replicate what you've done on your sketch here. But in this case, it's going to be digital. That is, you are designing it on Figma. So after that, we need to talk about the high fidelity. After you've done the wireframe, which is known as the low fidelity, you get to do your high fidelity, and this is where you do your designs, like the real visual of your products. That is where you get to use colors and fonts. In this case, you don't use Lorem Ipsum. You replace all Lorem Ipsum with original content. You replace all Lorem Ipsum with original content here. So that is what happened at the high fidelity. So if you look closely here, I have the low fidelity and high fidelity. So if you look at this low fidelity, I'm having only one color, which is black. Like is from the word low fidelity, is not like the visual is not there. And I'm also using some placeholder text like Lorem Ipsum. I'm not using the actual content. So when you get to your high fidelity, that's where you get to replace all Lorem Ipsum with actual content, and you get to use colors and real images. That is where you start to feel your product, right? So after that, then we need to talk about the prototype. That is where when you decide to connect your screens together. Let's say I'm building an application that has more than, let's say, 25 screens. I have to connect those screens together, that whenever a user clicks on this, it should take the user to so screen. So that is what happens at the prototype stage. Then after that, we have the user testing. After the prototype, we do the user testing. That is, we test the prototype with users, like with prospective users. So in that aspect, we get feedbacks on what they see and what could be improved on the mobile application or websites, whichever the case may be. So at this user testing, now when I was talking about the design thinking stages, I mentioned the define stage. That was where I talked about persona. Yes, persona. So let's say you stated on your persona that this product is for users within the age of 18 to 25, right? You said the product is an, let's say, an education app, right? So in that case, you need to, when you are doing your user testing, you need to pick someone that falls in that particular category. It's not that you get to bring, let's say, someone of age 12 to come and test your products. It doesn't make any sense. when you said you are building for people of age 18 to 25 and you are bringing someone of 12 to come and test that product, of course, we get a very, like, a useless feedback. Let me just put it like that. You get a useless feedback that would not be useful for you, guys. So after that, I need to talk about portfolio and sites where you can get inspirations from. We have Behance, we have Dribbble, we have Pinterest, we have Instagram, we have Freepik. I know you guys are familiar with, I know you guys should be familiar with Instagram. Some of you should be familiar with Pinterest. But Behance, if you really want to be a UI UX designer, you need, this is the most important site. This is the most important account for UI UX designers. So I'm not really, though all these are also important, but this is super important that is you can so
Um, Hi guys. So I'm sure Kule a bit has like a bit of a network issue from his end. Can everybody hear me? Can anybody hear me?
Yeah, you can hear you. You can hear
Yes,
you.
I can hear you.
All right, all right. So we're
Yes,
just
yes,
going to
yes.
wait for the to come. Then I'll take questions. I've been seeing some people's hands up, so I will start with Emmanuel Achibong. So please ask your questions while Kunle is away.
Okay, good evening. Good evening. While the tutor was trying to explain about some pages, that's inspirations, he was saying something about landing page. So I wanted to ask, what is the difference between an heroes page and a landing page?
An Eros page and a landing page. Is that what you said?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay,
An
so
heroes page and a landing.
can I answer for Kunle since it's not here? Once it comes, you also answer. A landing page is like your own page. Once you open the website, the whole of that first page is your landing page. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
So for the Eros page, I mean, Eros page is so if there's like, let me just share my screen. Hold on. Please just hold on. Can anybody see my screen? Is my screen sharing?
No, I can't see it.
It's okay, just hold on.
Not yet, ma'am.
No.
Alright. Hold on. I think it is doing now. Can anybody see my screen?
Yes, please.
Yes, you
Alright.
can.
It's just
coming up
hold
here.
on.
It's coming up here.
Okay, so this is Jared Ng's website, and the whole of this page is a landing page. The whole of this page is a landing page. So for the heroes page, this first blue part, this blue part from where Jared NG is to where the blue stops, that is the heroes page. So if they ask you, if you're asked to show your heroes page, that is your heroes page. It's not like, and it is not anything serious. It is just what is at the heroes page that they asked you to do. Hold on, please. Adekunle is back, so I think
Thank
I
you.
will just
I'm here.
continue. I'm taking questions, and I was answering on your
Okay.
behalf. So
All right.
since you're back, we'll just continue. Then we'll take questions after. But Emmanuel, I hope I answered your question.
Yes, you did.
Okay, ask about your page.
Yes. He was asking for the difference between a landing page and an heroes page. I hope I got it right too. But
Okay, you've answered him right.
I have, but you can expatiate on that.
But
because
let me
you're
go through
discussing.
this thing. So when you open any website is like any page. You know, website is divided into pages, right? One or two pages will give you a website. Then one or two sections will give you a page. Right. Now I want to explain what a page is. Now this is a particular page. This is the home page and is also known as the what? Landing page. Now this landing page consists of sections, right? And each section is talking about a particular feature of that website. But I will just categorize everything into three sections. Now the first compulsory section on any website is the header, which is what you can see from this Gerard logo to this get started button, and from this up to this part. Everything you can see here, like the navigation, anything that has to do with navigating around the website, that is what is known as the header section. And the second section I'll be talking
Sir,
about
please, your
here
screen
is
is not
footer.
showing, sir.
Oh, I'm not more sharing my screen. I'm sorry. Let me do that. Can you see now?
Oh, yes, you can.
Okay,
Yes,
so
yes.
I was saying when it comes to a page, I want to categorize it into three sections. The first one is the header, and the header is anything that has to do with the navigation. Like the first thing you see at the top part of any website is known as the header. As from this place to this place, from this place to this place. That is one section. And the second compulsory section is known as the footer. That's always at the down parts of a website. It also consists of some links to other pages, navigation, and contacts about the company. And the third section is what I would call, let's say, features section. As that is where you get to add one or two features. So in that third section, we can have more subsections. Let me just be like that. So that third sections, you can have like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sections there, depending on the features and the content of that particular website. Now, after the header here, this is another section. As is from this mobile to this parts. This is another section. From this top trading to this part. This is another section from this mobile to this part. This is another section. This is another section. This is another. So you design it section by section. And if you notice, each section is talking about features of that particular site, right? So this one is talking about, this is the hero screen that the guy was talking about. That is after the header, what you see, right? So this is another section which is talking about the let's just say the services, like the footprint of the company. Is talking about selling your bitcoins for instant cash, which is 100% guaranteed. So it depends. Your own could be 10 sections, your own could be 4, your own could be 5, 6, depending on what you are designing. So any other question? Angela.
Olukorede has been raising his hands. Please, can you unmute your mic and speak? Any other? Okay, Ibrahim, please, can you also speak? Because Olukorede is not here.
Yeah, wait on, sir. For a standard landing page, sir, how many sections must it has for a standard landing page? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm with you. Is that the
Yes, for a
question?
standard landing page, how many sections must it has?
Okay, so basically there is no standard sections, but we can set a bar, because I told you that 2 sections are compulsory, which is the header and the footer, right? Hero page is also section is also compulsory. So it depends on the offer of that company and what the company wants to please, mute yourself, please. And what the company wants to showcase. But you won't want to design a landing page with just 4 sections. Like, that's too scanty. Of course, for me to open a company, I want to sell and I want to showcase a lot of stuff. So I can't even have 4 sections at all. I would just say there is no standard, like there is no standard sections, but I would just say at least minimum of 7, 6, 7, minimum of 6, 7. It now depends on the content of that company.
But can it take the place of a website?
Can I?
Can it take the place of a website?
Landing page?
Like if someone doesn't have the capability of designing a website now, so can he or she go for a landing page?
If it has to be a landing page, basically the main aim, the main purpose of a landing page is to get leads. A landing page must only have a CTA. Like, you want to, I would have to go into the deep explanation of this. When they say something is a landing page, in digital marketing, landing page is like, it is used for marketing. Like, the main purpose of landing page is used for what? Marketing. When you come across any ad, you click on the link, it takes you to their landing page and you take an action, right? So if you read about landing page in details, it's only consists of a CTA. What is a CTA? Call to action. A landing page consists of only one CTA, right? If the company is trying to sell a product, the only CTA that will be there is just to say buy. If all the sections that you go through on that landing page, you still be seeing the buy. I'm not saying the landing page we have in websites is different, right? That was what brought me on to homepage. The landing page in website is known as what? Homepage. So if you want to own a landing page alone and you don't want to own a website, that means you are using it for marketing purpose. You are trying to sell only one product. Do you get? Because you would not want to sell multiple products and have only landing page. If it is only landing page you want to have, that means I'm focusing on shoe selling. I want to be selling shoes. I showcase all my products in different sections, and all the sections you get to see a buy button, buy now, buy now. So once the user clicks on the buy now, it either takes the user to your WhatsApp number or a checkout screen, depending on what you want to set.
Yeah, yes, sir. Oh.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome. Next person, please.
Any other question?
Yeah,
We don't have
yeah,
questions.
good evening. Yeah,
Good evening.
my question is that I wanted to ask, you said when you were talking about the steps, you said wireframe is the same thing as low fidelity.
Yes.
But I used to see where people say there are slight difference in wireframing and low fidelity. I think they say one does not contain pictures; it only contains placeholder, while the other does not contain um, pictures placeholder. It only contain just the arrangement and the alignment of the whole design, while one contains a placeholder and it also contains the actual text that will be in the design. As I want to get it, is it the same thing or there are slight difference between wireframing and low fidelity?
I think I understand your question very well. Of course, a disclaimer. Anything I'm saying here is not like the perfect way, like the perfect route to that particular problem. I'm just saying from my own experience and from my own point of view. When they say something is low fidelity, like something that has less color, that's not the final product. You are just trying to show the user what it looks like. Some people used to call it, some people used to categorize it as digital wireframe and normal wireframe. Some people used to refer sketch as wireframe. They will now refer low fidelity as digital wireframe. So all these are just English, right? What I just know is after your sketch, after doing your sketch, the next thing is what? You go digital. You could decide to call it any name. I could decide to say, now I want to move on to my low fidelity. I want to move on to my digital wireframe. It depends. But in that case, you are still using placeholder. When you say something is low fidelity wireframe, you are not using the actual content. You are using placeholder. You are not using the actual image. You are using icon images. You are not using the exact images. So what you said, it could be correct, which I can't really say 100% about it. But what I know is that wireframe is known as the low fidelity, and sketch is also known as wireframe in some cases. But when it comes to computer, designing it on Figma, it becomes digital wireframe. So it depends. I hope that answers the question.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Any other? Next person, please.
Ibrahim, please, can you go ahead? Raise your hand. Any other question minus Ibrahim? Nobody has questions.
Abdul-Salam.
Okay.
Joy David. George. All these people are not here again.
I don't have any questions, sir.
Okay. So, in the absence of any question, let me just give you small motivation. Please and please, tech is not a quick, rich quick. I've already used to say it. Rich quick pathway. It's not something you start with. All those motivation you used to see on LinkedIn and Twitter that I started this week. I make 2K dollars, 3K dollars. Please don't rush. But I can tell you for free that with at least a year of consistent practice, you can be wherever you want to be. At least you can still get an entry level position or internship, basically. You get. But what matters most is like the consistency, because some people would start today and tomorrow they will stop. They will pause. Let me just say pause. The next tomorrow they will resume again. It's not done that way. You have to, if possible, pay for do a paid boot camp, enroll in a paid boot camp. See, it's worth it. I can tell you there are a lot of UI UX jobs there. Nigeria, Ghana, US, there are a lot of them. All you just need is consistency and follow the right path, because a particular race might take some people, let's say 2 years. And some people will just do it for 8 months and they will start cashing out. So there is that one also. So you have to follow the right path and you must be consistent. You can see I'm emphasizing on consistency. It is very important. Yeah. I think I've been able to motivate you, right?
Yes, yes.
Don't let all these LinkedIn people make you feel you are not doing enough. I'm starting new position.
Ibrahim, please, you're raising your hand. Can you speak?
Does the class hold only during the course of the strike? I mean, when else the call of the strike, will the class continue, sir? Can you hear me?
Angela, yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
with
if
you.
it's convenient for us, it would hold physically if it is convenient.
Okay. Yeah.
Another question. I'll drop a link on the group chats before the end of the day. You all should check it out.
And also, can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Please, we share the slide with us, sir.
No, the slide, I'm even still sharing my screen, sir. The slide is a company slide, so it's not something I can share.
Okay, sir.
I'll share a slide with you guys later. I'll just get the context from Kunle.
And you can get the content, but the design, like the design itself, I can't release it. Is that okay? Angela said you would get the content on the slide and get it across to you.
Somebody has a question. Zainab, please can you go ahead with your question?
Good evening. Yes, I'm here. Good evening. I would like to ask if there will be maybe an activity at the end of each classes every week. I don't know.
Yes,
Obviously.
There would. So there's like, so there is like quiz, weekly quiz, assignments, group project, and individual projects. Did you hear me?
Yes, I do. Thank you very much.
All right. Yeah.
Any other question?
Sir, not necessarily a question, but a form of appreciation for this platform, in the sense that it actually goes for free, unlike that which we have everywhere that it's paid. Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome. Angela.
Yes.
If there's no other question, I think we can.
Yes, we can end the class if there's no other question. Thank you. Okay, somebody has a question. Anything. Please can go ahead.
Good evening. I checked just now that Figma is not for free. Like there's a paid version. Do we need the paid or the free is good enough?
Figma is
obviously there is always a premium version of the software. When I was talking about product design at the beginning of the class, I told you that you are designing for users and you're also designing for what? The company. You're trying to satisfy the users and you're trying to bring money into the company's pocket. Do you get? So like any product, even if they start with free, like in the long run, you will still get to the premium part of the software. But Figma is like basically free, like for you, even professionals that are already in the senior level of product design, they are still using the free version of Figma. I think where the paid version of Figma comes in is when you have to create like a team of large people. That is where you that is where you get to subscribe to the premium version. Do you understand?
Okay. Yes, thank you very much.
For you, the free is more than enough for you. It's sufficient. Sure, you get. Who else is asking question?
I have a question.
Please, who has a question? It's almost 7, so we can leave by 7 p.m. The class is for 1 hour. So if you have a question, let's hurry up. Ibrahim, you raise your hand again. Any other question? Any other person? Any other person? Can we go? Can we go? Thank you guys. Thank you guys for coming to the meeting. We love you. We'll see you next class. See you on Friday. Thank you.